please.
Guerrero,
Yes. Here.
Centola, Leeper, Oakley,
Here.
Staub,
Here.
Stahl, here, Williams.
Here.
Okay. Mr. Trigg, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I'd like to welcome everybody tonight. I think we have a few people to acknowledge this evening, correct?
Randy West is here. If you would like to talk to the board.
Yeah, that's okay. Just two seconds. I did, I've tried to hold this together. I was walking up and I thought, what we did, when Sherry passed away, I think it was the funeral director said, would you like to create a memorial, whatever, and I thought, yeah, that'd be great. As I was walking up, I thought, I never asked permission from the board to do that, and but you don't really have a chance to do that, so it's too late. We did it. But what we did is, they give the friends and family members and people an opportunity to donate money in lieu of flowers and that sort of thing. And so throughout the process, it's been really overwhelming. But and it really came in $25, $50 increments, but we were able to raise $5,000. So for the Sangamon Valley Memorial Scholarship, and which we're really thrilled about. Right at this point, I was speaking with Mrs. Antonacci and how to approach it, and what she and I agreed, and Austin, is that we would give it out in a one-time scholarship for 5 individuals this year. And the committee, there would be a committee formed here at the school district. She asked me if we wanted to be part of the selection process. I said, absolutely not. No, it's not fair to do that. I don't know the kids or anything. I did set criteria. I said the number one thing is that most of you, not all of you, Sherry, but she was a very kind person, and so I would hope that the students receive this, the number one in kind. And what we decided, and there may be some fluctuation in this, as we get into it, but it'd be obviously one for academics, one for athletics, one for visual arts, one for performing arts, and one for technology, which would also include agriculture. So 5 $1,000 scholarships that will be awarded. So I thought I'd better come talk to you about it because spring's coming, and not quick enough or fast enough. But and Austin and I have talked, and I'm not saying that this is going to be a one-time thing. Need a little time to digest some things, but maybe we'll do it again next year. So. But anyway, I should have asked for permission, but now I'm asking for forgiveness. But anyway, we're really excited about it. So.
Well, we appreciate your generosity, and very sorry for your loss. And we are very thankful to be able to hand that out in Sherry's memory.
Great, it's great. So we look forward to it. So anyway, that was it. So, appreciate it. So have a great evening.
Thank you.
Yep.
On to the consent agenda. Are there any questions? I need a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Motion made by Leonard Williams. Is there a second?
I'll second.
By Mike Staub. Call roll, please.
Oakley,
Yes.
Staub,
Yes.
Stahl, yes, Williams,
Yes.
Guerrero.
Yes. Okay. And superintendent's report.
Sorry about that. I have 3 items on here that I would like to talk about. Just very quickly, a science lab update. Over the last couple days, Bruce and Jason have been installing the new Promethean board. They're also installing the 70-inch monitors, 1 in the classroom and 2 in the lab area. Those are installed and in place. I'm working with Promethean to get somebody to come out here and work with Rachel to get some training on it. It's a little bit different than our current Promethean boards in that it looks more like just a monitor, like a TV. It's all touch. You can do everything that a normal Promethean board can do, but again, it's more like it looks pretty nice up there. The room in general has really come together and looks really nice. So we still have to They're going to reconfigure the drain for the eye wash station. I don't know why they did it this way, but for the shower, of course, you have to have the floor drain. And for the eye wash station, it goes down from a basin into like the support tube, and then comes out and enters the floor, exits on it right out in front of the floor drain. And when you use it, it kind of wants to spread all over the place. And so we didn't really like the way, I'm not sure why they didn't take it on down that tube and beneath the level of the floor and hook it into the drain that way, but they're going to take care of that. And what else? The dishwasher still needs to be hooked up. When those two items are complete, then we're going to take over possession of the room. I think with that, the majority of everything else will be in a position that we can get in there and move forward. B&B Glass out of Decatur is going to take over the door installation. They came out and measured last week. They're going to do the work. They'll be paid by John Co. John Co. will just move that scope of work, remove that scope of work from Pole and Glass that was contracted to do it or subcontracted to do it. And so they will take care of that. And they work with DLDD quite a bit. They're a good company. I did a little bit of research on them, so I'm confident that within the next, they're giving me 4 weeks to get their door ordered and get it in place and installed. So, but they can go ahead and use that space, and when they need to get in there, we'll just clear out and go to the old classroom and continue on with that.
Is it a one-day installation once they get it? Or did they say?
Depending on how things go, they thought 1-2 days at the most. So that's it on the science lab. I did provide, I just received this today if you want to take a look at it. I really haven't had a great deal of time to look at it myself. I received this in an email this afternoon, and it's basically the budget is the left-hand column from August, and the right-hand column are the actual costs. And as of right now, we're about $6,400 under the budget from August.
That's good considering all the problems we've had.
What's the expected move-in date now?
I'm hoping that they'll get out and work on the plumbing next week. They've been working with King Lar to come back out and fix that and hook up the dishwasher. So I'm hoping that it'll be in, all of that will be in place by the end of next week. So that might be optimistic. March 1st would be a goal, hopefully. Last Monday, not this past Monday, but a week ago, we met with the administration and 2 board members from Tri-City, just to discuss the co-op so far, how the things have been going this school year. And I think overall, if you take a look at the success of our programs, volleyball, girls basketball, football, to this point, they've done very well. I think volleyball won 21 games, football had a winning season and made their 3rd straight trip to the playoffs. Of course, I think the girls ended last night. They lost to Illini West. I think their record ended up at 25-2. So we talked a little bit about the success of the program before we jumped into some of the things that have been brought to us about concerns about the co-ops. The main thing, probably what we're hearing, is the $100 activity fee. And they were pretty set right off the bat that was something that they weren't going to go back on. That, the case we made was that with junior high basketball, or baseball is a perfect example. It's a 6-week season, and you pay the same amount for that as you would for football, which is obviously a much longer season. You have camps over the summer, and basically a coach or somebody available to work or in the weight room to work out all season long. And so we felt like, I guess what you get for the $100 is not adequate. With that, they kind of said, well, we're not going to budge on that.
I think they felt it was in place already, and they've done it for 2 years now, and at this point, they're not going to go back, so, sorry.
No, that's okay. One of the things that we asked, and which they agreed to, is the board had mentioned something about not raising the fees during a contracted time with the co-op, say football, for example. If we're in the middle of that, no fee will be raised until we look at and negotiate that again when the time comes. So they agreed to that. We're going to get that in the contract language for the next.
For every sport.
For every sport, as we move forward.
So the fees will be locked in for the duration of the contract?
Yes.
Neither of us, either school, can make any changes during the middle of a contract, fee-wise.
Really, other than that, we talked a little bit about some uniforms. I think right now, talking with Stan, the junior high boys baseball program that has the oldest uniforms. I don't know where we are as far as maybe replacing those, updating those, but hopefully we can get something worked out for that. I think probably right now I don't know if we could do, I don't know what the turnaround time would be to try to do something for high school boys.
And was it junior high boys that had the oldest, or high school boys?
Junior high boys have the oldest
Had the
uniforms.
oldest uniforms that they have.
And Stan did say that they currently do not have a uniform rotation. It's not something that's in the athletic budget. And last year they replaced the softball uniforms, and that was all done by donations from a family member or in Tri-City. So I don't think that's something that's probably going to change budget-wise for them.
So we were talking maybe this summer adjusting our sports fees. How does that affect that with this new?
We don't have anything on right now.
Nothing's written in. If we want to raise a fee right now, I think we would just call them and say, this is what the board wants to do, and it'll be,
Okay.
that will be the fee. We have nothing contractually with it right now. So if that's something that you guys would like to address either in March or April, we can certainly do that.
I'd like to put it on for May, if possible. And just, I mean, if that's okay with everyone else, and, have the discussion. I think we've also discussed the potential for, we don't want to lose any kids that are borderline not able to pay for 2 to 3 sports and only can do one, and that kind of thing. So I think it's going to take a little more discussion and maybe looking at some numbers.
I would say this, that I've never seen athletic fees make or break a school's budget.
Right.
So it's, to me, it's like, you shouldn't overcharge.
I think we have a breakdown though, and I'm pretty sure we're about the only ones left in the world that only do an annual one-time fee based on quite a wide scope of school districts around us. So
I think everybody has it. Per sport, and then it's capped at a certain amount. Tri-Cities and Monroe are probably the highest in the area. And Monroe has no cap.
So I think we should at least discuss it, and if we come to, I don't know that the amount would have to go up, but maybe we can take that $40 per sport instead of per year, or something for everybody to be thinking on and discussing.
So how does that work for like the free and reduced kids, the lower income? They play for free, right?
Correct.
So we eat that. Do you actually take the money out of your budget and put into their fund?
Well, when they pay an activity fee, it all just goes into the ed fund, whoever pays the activity fee. So there's really no You know, I really don't know from one year to the next how much money we're going to receive from activity fees or from book fees or, so all that money goes into the ed fund and then it's paid out.
So you don't take that left pocket, put it in the right, and kid can't pay, it just.
Right. We, like I said,
Well,
the district incurs the cost.
Yeah, I've seen where like the bass fishing program has, so much in it, and this program has so much in that. I mean, I
And
don't
that's
know.
usually what they've raised.
Yeah, that's
What
their,
they've
That's
raised.
what they've raised.
that's
on
their
that.
individual activity account that they do fundraisers for so they can buy extra things,
Okay.
extra lures. So, is that it for the, anybody have any questions? Any more on co-op? And then the last item that I had under my report is the Senate Bill 550 on the lead testing. We're going to have to do that, and it has to be in both Sangamon Valley East and Sangamon Valley West elementary buildings. We're waiting right now, we've been advised by the regional office to kind of hold where we are and wait to make sure that what they want us to have, all the regulations are going to be finalized and in place and put out to the districts. I did call, I've received emails from 3 different companies that will come out and do that. I went ahead and called one back just to get an idea, and right now we have 21 sources that would have to be tested between the 2 buildings, and they quoted me a price of $1,900. So that's a baseline to kind of go from.
I think that's as bad as what I anticipated, but I guess as long as it checks out, we're okay.
So that's all I have.
All right. So then we would move on to the curriculum director's report.
For our goals, with our board goals in terms of achievement, I'm going to share with you guys some midpoint data from our last round of math testing. We just got that finished up, a little behind time of when we anticipated, so that's why I didn't report out in January. So I'll share that with you. I've got Mr. Fleming here from the middle school, who's one of our math teachers who plays a pretty big role in helping get some of the assessments rolling and get those out throughout the course of the year. He's going to talk to you a little bit about some of the other universal assessments we use at the middle school to kind of track progress. And then also Mr. Britton and Ms. Janver are also going to talk about some of the other universal screeners that we use within the elementary school too to track progress, because we do look at a lot of different assessment data. In the math scores here, I've given you guys some charts here that I tried to kind of distill it down to pretty simple couple charts. One of them is the one that says reading writ average for the winter, and you have the data charts here for both reading and math, and I put those in the graphs as well. And that shows you just where we were at each grade level in comparison to the norm. For those, some of those look like some sizable gaps compared to what they look like in the fall, but you typically see that in the midpoint testing, which is our winter testing. You see things kind of a little bit more discrepancy between them, and then what we hope to see in the spring then is that those would equalize and be closer to where they were at in the fall. But you judge growth throughout the academic year from fall to spring. Winter is just kind of a midpoint check. So how those relate to the norms, we don't always put a lot of creed in. One thing with that, those, if you look at the other chart that says RIT growth, we had a pretty nice display of growth in between the fall to the winter. So in terms of what the norms are supposed to be in the winter and what our projected growth was supposed to be, we looked pretty good in most cases. And we did drop in a few grade levels there, but not real considerable. It's like a point or two, which isn't anything to really be concerned about. If we saw like a 15 or 20 point drop or something, we'd be like, oh man, something happened here. But there's a lot of variables that take into place there. But it was nice seeing growth. One thing in particular is our math scores saw positive growth in every grade level. So I think that's due a lot to the consistency we've built with instilling the new curriculum and kind of making sure that we get everything aligned a little bit better. But I think that's really nice, and it's a good show right there in terms of those charts. And if you have any other questions about those at any time or whatever, you can let me know, give me a call, whatever. I'll be more than happy to talk to you at length about those a little bit more at any time. But I was pretty happy with the results and looking at it. Once I got checking everything out, I thought everything looked really good, and our growth versus the projected was looking good for the system too. So I think everything's on track and going nicely. So Mr. Fleming, do you want to talk about the other screeners that we use with the Ames Web?
Sure. In addition to that, I don't know if you all have received the SVMS information in your packets. Not as much in depth as the MAP test, but we still take a few more assessments about 3 times a year for fall, for winter, and for spring. For the top 2 little charts here, for the reading, we have a comprehension test, and underneath that we have a fluency test. Something I'm going to focus on is what's in the yellow. I don't know if you have the color coordinated version.
They do have color.
The 67%, that was for the overall 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. And that's how many students met the norm for that particular test. A note that I made under each of those particular numbers is the fact that all of those percentages that met the norms actually increased. So we did not see a dip like we usually do in our midpoint checks. But one of the big numbers that I do like to point out is the growth percentages there on the far right columns for each of those assessments. Particularly in the 7th graders, they showed significant amounts of growth. Additionally, as far as that percentage goes, it's the number of students that showed growth for those individual tests. So a lot of good scores, lots of progress. Things are very positive right now. And usually, like Mr. Field said, at this point there's tends to be a little bit of a dip, and we did not see that all that often on these particular assessments. So spring looks promising. We can just hope to be just as much productive from here. So.
Mrs. Jambert and I went ahead and put together some data too for both of the elementaries. So the numbers that you look at will be the averages for both buildings together. I believe it's the 3rd sheet. Yeah, it starts with kindergarten universal assessments at the top. Just real briefly here, universal assessments are just very quick paper pencil assessments that the teachers do within the classroom. They usually range from about 1 minute to 8 minutes of time to take. It takes way longer to grade, but it's a quick assessment for the for data points, and primarily it's for the 3 big areas in education: reading, writing, and math. That's what each one of the assessments are there for us to use data to look at. It helps us to make decisions. Once a month we meet in RTI groups, and we can look at this data just to see where the kids are. We can compare an individual student with the average, and so that just helps us with instruction too. It's a very good communication tool, but I don't really want to go into a whole lot of detail about each one of these assessments. You start to see some consistency between 2nd grade and 5th grade, 2nd through 5th. There are 4 big ones. We have oral reading fluency, which is an assessment that shows how quickly a student can read. And then we have 2 writing assessments: writing fluency and writing connections. And then we also have a math assessment that we use. So it's just good to use for data and communication with parents.
We do give these 4 times during the year. So we get a fall score. We have an August, November, February, and then an April score. And basically the data that is used, that we get, we use to form our RTI groups as a response to intervention. It catches those students that if they are 2 times discrepant from the average of the grade, they will get extra time. We have an RTI time built in, I know at East Campus, for the last 25 minutes of the day. So each grade is broken up into smaller groups, and those children that were discrepant get extra time, that 20 minutes working one-on-one or in a small group. And then throughout the day we've also built in times. So that's usually what the bulk of the data is used for, to show us who's struggling and in what areas they're struggling in.
And the numbers on the left, is that the number of students that met the norm?
That is the average.
That's the average.
Okay.
So, and
that's the average score that the students received.
Right, and like Mrs. Jambert said, we have 4 of them. So the first one, the first bar that you see there is September.
Yeah.
That was the first assessment, and then we didn't include the we didn't feel like there was really a need to include the second one, and then we put the February on there, so that's the third. There'll be one more. But the good news is, in every one of these categories, if you look at each one, the students are doing better in each assessment, so that's good news. I think one of the things I enjoy about this is if you have a student that's having difficulty, when we bring them to this RTI meeting, we say, okay, where's the difficulty coming from? And then we can look at this data and say, oh, look, they're doing fine in math, but writing's a problem. And then you can even focus your attention even more. Is it writing fluency? How quickly they can write, or is it just the writing connections, which includes the grammar and the technical part of the writing. So it just helps us to narrow our focus.
Thank you very much. We'll see these all again in June. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Thank you. All right. And on to old business. I think that's you.
Yeah. Update on the attendance centers. We have a committee meeting scheduled for March 1st after school, and the committee that we've put together, it's the subcommittee from the board, the curriculum committee, the administration, of course the two elementary principals, and Mr. Fields and myself will be sitting on that as well. We've also added a teacher from each building, and we're going to meet, like I said, on March 1st and start the process of looking at our curriculum, starting to plan ahead as far as some school improvement days and some early dismissal days that we can get together as groups and start working at grade level. One of the things that this committee is not, one of the functions, not one of their functions would be the placement of teachers. That's something that the administrative team will do, and our goal is to have something out to the teachers before they leave in May, which would be their tentative assignments for the 18-19 school year.
So May 2017, this year.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a rough.
Okay.
I think we should be able to figure that out. But, so just kind of wanted to bring you up to speed on where we were with the attendance centers and how we're moving forward with that. As far as the transportation piece of that, Brian and I have been working on that. We're still working on getting him the proper equipment out in the bus garage and the communication between the building and the bus garage, so he can continue to work on the routes. But I think we're moving forward, and I think we're on schedule.
And all the training with the software has already been completed, correct?
Yes. We have one session left. He called us back and basically said, hey, you guys, if there's something that, when you get into it, if you're struggling with something, give me a call and we'll go through it. So we're going to wait on that until we get into it a little bit more and see what we need.
Okay. All right, and then on to new business.
For a firewall upgrade at all three campuses. We have been experiencing kind of intermittent access to the web here and there, and it's been a problem. You can almost target it to the time when we added, new technology, when we added Chromebooks and we added tablets, more computers, and when you add all those to the existing firewall, it kind of bogs everything down, and we were having difficulties with it. And this quote will allow us to eventually, if we get to that point, we could go one-to-one. It's big enough and beefy enough that we can go one-to-one student to computer ratio in all buildings. So we're kind of looking ahead. I'm still not completely sold that that's the end-all be-all for education. I think what we've talked about here more at the high school is carts in various locations of the building and letting the students have access to that by class, as opposed to everybody carrying one home with them, and so.
I saw a really neat thing at school board convention too, that those carts, they had those and they were actually donated by businesses. So there would be businesses that would not only donate the cart, but all the Chromebooks that were on the cart. So that could be something that maybe we could
We
reach
put
out.
advertising on the side of it.
Yeah, they did. They had a plaque, you know, these donated by
General
so-and-so.
Pence.
Right. Exactly. So, or whomever.
I'm not putting you on the spot.
Right.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. So, we would need to look at a motion to approve the firewall upgrades at all campuses for $14,319.74. Anybody would like to make a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Leonard Williams. Is there a second?
I'll second.
By Jeff Stahl. Call roll, please.
Staub,
Yes.
Stahl, yes. Williams,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Oakley,
Yes.
Okay.
Next, Sam Rogers contacted Mr. Britt about the possibility of using the West Campus for an informational meeting to discuss the proposed water cooperative that Iliopolis and Warrensburg and Harristown are working on. And I would recommend that it's very similar to what the village of Harristown did. I think it was back in January, so.
Okay, so we need a motion to allow the Village of Iliopolis to use the West Campus to hold a town meeting to discuss the proposed water cooperative with the Village of Harristown. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Okay?
Next, last year we did middle school, high school promotion graduation on a Thursday, Friday schedule. Personally, I didn't have any phone calls as far as complaints about the dates and the times and whether it was Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. So we decided as an administrative team that's what we'd like to try to do again. If there are other suggestions, I would be open to that. But if not, I would like for you to set middle school promotion on Thursday, May 18th at 7 p.m. and high school graduation on Friday, May 19th.
Okay.
A separate motion.
Separate, yeah. So I need a motion to set the date for middle school promotion on Thursday, May 18th at 7 p.m.
So moved.
Motion made by Leonard Williams. Is there a second?
Second.
Mike Staub, call roll, please. Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Motion to set the date for high school graduation on Friday, May 19th at 7 p.m.
so moved.
Motion made by Jeff Stahl. Is there a second?
Second.
Mike Staub, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Okay.
Who
And
made a motion in a second to use the allowance campus?
I didn't write it down.
I did.
You did?
Mike? Sorry. And at this point, we need a motion to go into closed sessions for reasons stated on the agenda.
So moved.
Motion made by Leonard Williams. Is there a second?
Second.
Mike Oakley, call roll, please.
Oakley,
Yes.
Staub,
Yes.
Stahl, yes. Williams,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes. At 7:35? Okay. First, I need a motion to accept the closed session minutes as read in closed session.
So moved.
Motion made by Leonard Williams. Is there a second? Mike Staub, call roll, please.
Stahl, yes. Williams,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Oakley,
Yes.
Staub,
Yes.
Okay. And I want to go back because I don't believe I got a first or second on the motion to allow the Village of Iliopolis to use the West Campus to hold a town meeting to discuss the proposed water cooperative with the Village of Harristown.
I'll move.
Motion made by Mike Staub. Is there a second?
Second.
Leonard Williams, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. All right. Now we can move on. I need a motion to accept the resignation of Daniel Moore as middle school night custodian.
so moved.
Motion made by Jeff Stahl, second.
I'll second.
Mike Staub, call roll please.
Williams,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Oakley,
Yes.
Staub,
Yes.
Stahl, yes.
Motion to terminate the employment of Lynette Cox as high school classroom aide effective January 25th, 2017.
So moved.
Motion made by Leonard Williams,
I'll second.
second by Jeff Stahl. Call roll, please.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Oakley,
Yes.
Staub,
Yes.
Stahl, yes. Williams,
Yes.
Okay, I need a motion to employ Tricia Weisner as high school classroom aide effective January 26th, 2017.
I'll move.
Motion made by Mike Staub. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Leonard Williams, call roll, please.
Oakley,
Yes.
Staub,
Yes.
Stahl, yes. Williams,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes. Motion to employ Sarah Lowe as a substitute bus driver.
so moved.
Motion made by Jeff Stahl. Is there a second?
Second.
Mike Oakley, call roll, please.
Staub,
Yes.
Stahl, yes. Williams,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Oakley,
Yes.
Motion to employ Jason Oakley as high school bass team captain, boat captain for the 2016-2017 school year. This is a volunteer position.
I'll move.
Motion made by Mike Staub.
I'll second.
Mike Oakley, call roll, please.
Stahl, yes. Williams,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Oakley,
Yes.
Staub,
Yes.
Motion to employ Josh Patrick as middle school assistant scholastic bowl coach.
so moved.
Motion made by Jeff Stahl. Is there a second?
Second.
Leonard Williams, call roll, please.
Williams,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Oakley,
Yes.
Staub,
Yes.
Stahl, yes.
Motion to grant leave to Brooke Niebuhr under the Family Medical Leave Act beginning approximately May 4th through the end of the 2016-2017 school year.
So moved.
Motion made by Leonard Williams. Is there a second?
Second.
Mike Oakley, call roll, please.
Guerrero,
Yes.
Oakley,
Yes.
Staub,
Yes.
Stahl, yes. Williams,
Yes.
Motion to grant leave to Kylie Kovai under the Family Medical Leave Act beginning at the start of the 2017-2018 school year through approximately September 15, 2017.
I'll move.
Motion made by Mike Staub. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Leonard Williams, call roll, please.
Oakley,
Yes.
Staub,
Yes.
Stahl, yes. Williams,
Yes.
Guerrero,
Yes. And at this time, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made by Leonard Williams. Is there a second?
Second.
Mike Oakley, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.